Clorox wipe shortage, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you happen to be lucky enough to still be in possession of one of those Clorox wipes containers, read the ingredients. It's like 0.0194% of the active ingredient. You can literally go out on the internet right now and buy a 55-gallon drum of that for like $70. And by the time you dilute it down, you'd have enough of that little magical liquid to put on paper towels to make it a Clorox wipe and like supply your entire city. It's insane. And I can't understand how they have how do you have a shortage? How can you have a shortage?
Probably one company makes it, one area, and they all got sent home because of COVID or something. It's some kind of red tape thing.
I mean, I understand the toilet paper somewhat because there's only X number of toilet paper factories. Mm-hmm. And an interesting thing about toilet paper is it's a very steady market. People seem to poop about the same year to year. So they have X number of factories and they know exactly how much product is going to get used. Mm-hmm. And unless there's like,
COVID,
a dysentery outbreak, they're not going to sell any more toilet paper. It's just not going to happen.
You know what contributed to the toilet paper issue?
What?
I work. I work as a chemist. The company I work for, we sell to phosphate mines and we sell to paper mills. So not all toilet paper is made equal.
Oh,
that's very true.
So what happened was when everything was shutting down, two things happened. Number one, everyone started working at home rather than working in offices. Mm-hmm. So orders for commercial grade, industrial grade toilet paper like you would get in your office went down. Mm-hmm. So to make home grade toilet paper, it meets a higher quality spec. So it is a little bit tougher to make. So they have to shift their production from commercial grade to home grade, and you don't ship in the same packaging. You ship your commercial grade in just paper wrapping, bulk cardboard boxes.
Oh that was one of the things that I noted at the very beginning of the toilet paper shortage. Yeah, we've got two types of Costco here. We've got one that's like a regular person Costco, and then we've got the one that's for like restaurant supply and stuff, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The restaurant supply one had plenty of toilet paper, but they were the ginormous rolls, mm-hmm. like the like 2 million roll.
When you put in the thing in the bathroom, mm-hmm. where you just roll it, and then if one gets empty, you push the other one, and you have that other roll right there.
Yeah.
So I always cheat and try to get them together so I can get the double ply action going on one pull.
You're the one who also says you shit on company time.
I do. Boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time.
Yeah, except now you're pooping at home on company time.
Oh. I
know, right? It's just wrong.
It's just wrong. I pay for the toilet paper. I pay for mm-hmm. I still pay for everything else.
Exactly. But yeah, that's
not funny. When the toilet paper shortage started, I went on Amazon and I ordered toilet paper from China. That was the only thing that was available. I was like, okay. It took months to get here. I kept tracking it, and it was on a ship, and then it was on the West Coast. It was like all over the place. I was like, what the heck? Okay.
Yeah.
So it finally came like a month ago. And Chinese people must not do much in the way of number 2, because each roll was about this big, about this big, and this wide. I posted a picture on Facebook of my 8-pound dog like hovering over the pack of toilet paper. I mean, it was like one.
I've shared pictures of MRE toilet paper with you, haven't I?
What?
I've shared pictures of MRE toilet paper with you, haven't I?
Meals ready to eat toilet paper?
Yes. Yeah, every military ration comes with a little square.
Oh, you told me about that, and the sergeant you saw on YouTube.
Yeah, it's all folded up.
Y'all, you tell them I gotta go do number one, just in case anyone's interested, and then get some more drink. So you tell them.
Okay, well, yeah, when there's a Marine Corps procedure. I'm an ex-Marine, by the way. There's a Marine Corps procedure for utilizing MRE toilet paper, and basically what it consists of is you unfold your sheets from the little packet, and you end up with like squares. They're like squares of toilet paper, and you take one single square off, you fold it in half, you fold it in half again, then you find the corner that's in the center, and you peel that little corner off, and you just set it aside. Don't lose that. You're going to need it later.
I'll make a visual for you.
Yeah. And then you just peel that off. Now, don't lose that piece. You need that piece later. Just set that aside. Now, you unfold the toilet paper, and you stick your finger through the hole. Now, you wipe your butt with your finger, and then you clean the finger off. And then that little piece of paper, that's what you clean your fingernail with. One roll of paper will last you a month easy. Now you know.
I had a Boy Scout leader
than 3
taught us
shells
that.
at least.
It's not far from the truth. The saying was the toilet paper that comes in MREs is called John Wayne toilet paper because it's rough and it's tough and it don't get no one.
I had
funny because
I had a Boy Scout
anybody who
leader.
writes the sorry.
Okay.
I was going to say that it's funny that everybody who writes those dystopian novels, like, that's never brought up. You would think somebody would put it in there.
Yeah, toilet paper. Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
So far, the only one I saw they got right was World War. What was it? It wasn't World War Z. It was Z Nation. No, I don't remember which one it was. The one with the Twinkies. That's accurate.
Twinkies.
Zombieland.
Zombieland. Yeah. Twinkies will survive everything. I swear to God, the Twinkies never freaking go bad. Everything else on this planet will overgrow and die and rot, and Twinkies will still exist. We should build a Fort Knox and fill it with Twinkies. The National Reserve of food stuff.
So what about the Marine bidet? Is that a thing?
I'm not familiar with that.
It seems like that'd be a better alternative.
I can't really see myself out in the field, with the little bird action going.
Well,
eat two in one hand, it's just no.
I don't know. After the visual of the toilet paper, I think the Marine bidet involves getting your buddy to help you out.
I'm gonna let me tell you about that. So I was stationed over in Okinawa for a period of time, and Okinawa has these beautiful, beautiful beaches. And I was out snorkeling, and I came back paddling in, and wasn't paying attention to where the shoreline was or where I was, and I paddled myself right into a sea urchin. So I basically sat on a sea urchin. Let me tell you, you find out who your friends are real fast. Hey, man, can you pull this out of my butt for me? No, man, go see the doc. Go see the doc.
Wait, was pull that out of my butt for me? Was that about the sea urchin still, or is it something else?
I think anytime that sentence comes up, most Marines will defer to you're gonna have to go get somebody else for this job because that's not me.
I was born in Okinawa.
Oh, I was stationed at Camp Schwab for about 3.5 years.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know the exact name of it, but I was born on November 1st, 1974, in Okinawa, in the middle of a typhoon.
Yeah, the typhoons are something else. I saw a lot of crazy things there, and we had the crazy thing was we called them beer machines. It was basically a soda machine in the barracks. Mm-hmm. Except it delivered beer. And at the time, this is back in the 80s, a beer cost you $1.
Huh.
So when a typhoon would roll in, everybody would run down to the PX, and the PX, of course, would run out of beer. So first thing that would happen when a typhoon rolled in is some smart person would set up an ironing board next to the beer machine. And the process was, if you were going to buy a beer out of the beer machine with your crisp dollar bill, you were going to iron that dollar bill first. Because if you were the one to jam that machine up in the middle of a typhoon, you were in for a bad, bad day.
But
they wouldn't find you.
That was back when the drinking age was like 18, right?
Yeah.
Okinawa, yeah, it's on Okinawa. Well, in Okinawa in the military, it's 18. Probably still is.
I don't know, because I had an ex-boyfriend who was in the Navy, and he said that you weren't allowed to drink if you were under 21 when you were away, which sucked. So you had to go by Navy rules.
Now, see, when I was in, I grandfathered in when I was in Georgia. So Georgia had just changed their liquor law from 18
your impression
to 21.
of people from Georgia.
Hi, I'm from Albany, Georgia, and I'm real stupid.
We don't sound like that. We don't sound like we're from Albany, Georgia.
Talking slow.
We don't sound like that.
Just conserving energy.
We don't sound like we're slow. We're just thinking about what we're saying.
I'd go down to Georgia.
I'm not going to knock Georgia. I had a good time there, and the people were fine there. It's just they do tend to talk a little slow, and that drawl can really, like, it grows on you. Like 3 months after being there, you start talking like.
You start talking like this.
I'll tell you something interesting. I live in Montgomery, Alabama. I've lived here all but 4.5 years of my life.
I remember you said
I have never really acquired the drawl.
You sound like you could be from Maryland or somewhere up northeast.
Actually, my dad was born in Freedom, New York, and people tell me I sound like I'm from New York State, not New York City.
Yeah, you do sound like you're from the northeast somewhere.
Yeah, it's really weird. I have never really picked up the Southern drawl, which is weird.
Well, and I've always found that it depends on who you grew up around, because I was from Savannah, Georgia. I am from Savannah, Georgia. I'm still from Savannah, Georgia. And there is a huge Army presence there because there's an Army airfield there. And so the people in my school were from all over the country. And I never had a Southern accent. People would always tell me, you don't sound like you're from Savannah. And I'd be like, well, I am. What am I supposed to say? I'm not. I am. So I never had a Southern accent. The funny thing is, I went to Birmingham, Alabama for college. And within a year, I was like, yeah, we're here in Alabama. We're in Birmingham. And I go to UAB. And I like science fiction. And I like drinking beer. And
yeah, you just gotta get rid of a few syllables. Alabama.
I'm from Bama, and you know what? I just sit on my porch and I drink my sweet tea, and that's what I do.
Ooh, that's sweet tea. That's something.
Now I'm gonna sound like I'm being stereotypical here, but I live in Alabama. I love to hear my crying in your beer country.
That's about good. That's about it. I'm from Bama, and I love God, country, and
NASCAR, football.
Roll Tide. The funny thing is, being in Birmingham, I was never interested in football. My father liked football, but I was never interested in football. But at the time, this was the 90s, and there was not a football team in Birmingham.
That's true.
Yeah, and you probably know Oddball Extreme, that there's a huge rivalry between Tuscaloosa and Auburn.
Of course.
And so every year or so, they would have their big rivalry. And
they would play at Legion Field.
Yeah, and people would go crazy in Birmingham.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't care. So I'd be like, Roll Tiger? What am I supposed to say? I don't know. I just don't want you to kill me. That's all.
That's fine. Yeah. I mean, I've got some friends, they're not even interested in sports. So it's like, no problem. I'm not going to force you into it.
I'm like, I don't know. And I feel so bad. I have a really good friend from Birmingham. She's an Auburn fan. And it's got to be rough for her. Because, Birmingham tends to be Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, because it is closer to Tuscaloosa. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel for her. It's got to be because she's doing her War Eagle thing and everyone else is doing Roll Tide. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but I understand that you're not the same as the other people. And I'm very sorry for you.
Mm-hmm. Well, me, I can happily say I have been to one game in Auburn for the Tigers. I went to a game in Tuscaloosa for the Crimson Tide. And I'm so happy I got this one off my bucket list. The Iron Bowl in 2014.
Oh, you did that?
Yep. Of course, I paid $500 for the ticket.
Whoa, that's a lot of money.
And that was in March. If I had waited, that ticket probably would have been at least $1,500.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why was it so expensive?
It's the biggest game. It's the biggest game in the state by far. That's the reason.
Wow. Okay, and Sean said, I heard the Iron Bowl was forged from 1,000 blades in dragon fire. That's probably true.
Yeah. But what I love is, our state, we have the Iron Bowl. In Mississippi, I love theirs because they call it the Egg Bowl.
They call it the what?
The Egg Bowl in Mississippi. Bowl?
Where does that come from?
I don't know. It's a good question, but it's just more like the gases from the swamp.
Now, Iron Bowl makes sense because I lived in Birmingham for 10 years. That was iron because of Red Mountain. That was an industry for a long time. They're like Pittsburgh's sister city.
Yeah, exactly.
So iron makes sense. I don't quite get egg though.
Who knows? It's just weird, but about I think they have that game. I think it's the day after Thanksgiving, and it's the day before the Iron Bowl. So
that sounds like something they'd call it over in Europe. Egg bowl, like hand egg, right?
Yeah.
It's not soccer.
It's like the egg bowl, egg toss. Hold the egg in the spoon.
That
It's not football.
Yeah, it's not football. It's soccer. Oh no, it's hand egg.
Well, I'm just gonna have to tell Mississippi that they have a silly name. Well, I'm sure you know, Oddball Extreme, Mississippi keeps Alabama from being the worst at everything.
That's true.
That's Mississippi's sole purpose, is to keep Alabama from being the lowest at everything.
It's the only state that has IPP in it. I mean,
I never thought about that, but you're right. IPP.
IPP.
Well, that's good, Mississippi.
MISSISSIPPI.
IPP.
Who wants to PPI?
IPP.
Some people do. Some people do that. Whatever. As long as they keep it away from me, I don't care. Yeah. So, Oddball Extreme, now, you've lived in Alabama most of your life, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And Montgomery, I've been to Montgomery. There's not a whole lot as far as stuff going on, right?
Not really, no. What's been going on the last couple of years, there's this Geek and Gaming Tavern we have here in town, GT South. And I've been a regular since 2014 when I got introduced to the Doctor Who Christmas special for the first time. And I've been a regular since. They just moved out of their very tiny space in the shopping center. They took over an old bar, and there's a lot of room. Food is so good. They even have, you brace yourself, a Doctor Who pinball game.
That must be fun.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. Right now, we got this liquor rule. Right now, I don't drink, by the way.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like they have a liquor rule. Like they cannot sell after 11 p.m.
That's when the best stuff happens.
Yeah.
That's probably why they don't sell.
Yeah, but the good news is, Mike, he's the owner of the place. He figured out a way to be able to do something. So after they stop selling the alcohol, they move everything outdoors, which is fine, and then they play some music, and then they offer up waffles.
Waffles sound fun. That sounds really good.
It's almost like a second breakfast.
That sounds perfect. Lord of the Rings theme.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite things too. They have some serious funny themes. Like they have Tetris. Instead of Tater Tots, they have Tetris Tots.
That sounds perfect. Little tots that go like this.
Yeah. Uh-huh. They've got that. The potato wedges are called Baby Suntarans.
How cute.
Yeah, and they also have, they actually have the second breakfast for real.
For real, yeah.
They got the second breakfast. And one of my favorite things is the stuff your own burger. It's like you have a nice big hamburger patty, but you can stuff it with almost anything you want. Like I've had it with bell peppers, onions, and I think it was mushrooms. Oh my gosh, that was so good. Tori is an awesome cook, period. And I'll tell you this, we've been trying to pull off some conventions here too. We started with Gump CityCon in 2017. We had it again in 2018. Unfortunately, the two guys who owned it, they kind of split off, had a bit of a falling out, and there was another one called River Region Comic Con, and we had SonoCon. Now I worked with SonoCon, and I'm going to tell you the truth, the owner is a bit off, okay? Because I think in all seriousness, I think he only wanted to do that con to get revenge on the other one.
Well, that's messed up.
Yeah. And it's like, and see, River Region was supposed to have its con back in March. Unfortunately, that was right around the time the pandemic started. So the mayor canceled everything, and River Region was forced to give everybody their money back. So it's like, that's not their fault. But it's like I feel like I've been a volunteer with the con for about 3 years, but I need to take a break this year because I lost my job at the end of June this year.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. After 22 and a half years.
What job did you have?
I worked at Herb Jones Yearbooks. It was located near the airport.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there's like no call for yearbooks now because we're all virtual?
Well, that could be part of it, but basically, I'll put it this way. We found out about this long before the pandemic even hit. We knew it this time last year that the plant was going to close in 2020. But I was hoping it would be December 31st, not June 26th.
Yeah. Yeah, I was on yearbook staff in high school, but that was many, many moons ago.
Yeah.
You might actually be able to help me with some archaeology that I'm trying to do here in my life. I knew a guy from Alabama.
I used to know a guy. I knew a lot of guys.
But he wasn't really from Alabama. He was from an island off of Alabama.
Okay.
Gulf Coast?
Yeah,
I'm thinking Dauphin Island.
I have a friend who lives there. Her name is Deanna Lonnie.
Deanna Lonsdale?
What?
Is her name Deanna Lonsdale?
No, her name is Deanna. I have a friend named Deanna Lanny.
Oh, okay.
She lives on Dauphin Island.
Okay, well, I got a friend named Deanna Lonsdale, but I don't think she lives on Dauphin Island.
Okay. And my friend is named Deanna. She lives on Dauphin Island, and she never said anything, but I get a feeling that, like, her family was rich, because just one time on Facebook, she posted a picture of her ancestral home, and it's like, and I was like,
I wonder if that's like either Fort Gaines or the other fort.
huh?
I think it would give either Fort Gaines or one of the other fort. I forgot what the other fort's name was.
Well, I believe her now. She's a good, when I knew her in Alabama, I haven't seen her in 20 years, but when I knew her in Alabama, she was always a very honest person. I believe her. And she posted a picture of her house, and it was like Downton Abbey type stuff. And I was like, shit, I should have kept up with her. Yeah, I'm like, you want to go shopping? But yeah, so I kind of got the sense that, yeah, Dauphin Island must be like a ritzy place.
Mm-hmm. It is. Because I got to go down there. I even took the ferry down there. It's really cool.
Yeah, I don't think he was from a ritzy place. He was an interesting individual. He used to come up with his own names for things because he couldn't use the names that he wanted to use. And some of them were quite colorful, let me tell you. But he used to cut the bottoms off of his. So when you're in the Marine Corps and you're in proper uniform, you have to wear green socks with your utilities, and they're made out of wool, and they're scratchy and they suck. What he would do is he'd put on a pair of white socks, and then he'd take a pair of green socks and he'd just cut the top off the green sock and pull it up. And he used to call them his zombie socks because they ain't got no soul.
Oh,
Right, yeah. And that's why I'm looking for this guy. I'm trying to look this guy up, but I don't know enough about islands off the coast of Alabama to try and find the guy.
There are a lot of, anytime you're in any kind of coast, even like I'm in Jacksonville, so the whole East Coast, the whole Gulf Coast, there are all these little islands. They're barrier islands.
Yeah.
There are a ton.
Yeah, that's and I'm trying to locate him, but I've had no luck so far. I found a lot of other interesting people I knew from back then, but he's the one to lose me, and he was me and him were shadows. So in that, I mean, just about every place I went, if you looked around hard enough, you'd find the other one. And we roomed at Pendleton, we roomed at 29 Palms, and we roomed
that's all in California.
Once on Okinawa.
And that's in Japan.
Yeah. So we kind of followed each other around. He was completely different MOS, but we always seemed to end up together. And he's a funny guy, but man, it's he definitely had some Southern viewpoints. Let's put it that way.
Well, anytime you put Alabama in the mix.
Yeah. I don't fault him for it. I mean,
welcome to my life.
Yeah.
I'm born and raised in the South, and I am the weird one. Okay, true story. Are you ready?
Oh, another story.
Are you ready?
Another Lola story.
You ready? Okay. Every single person in my family is conservative, and I've gotten used to all the posts about Obama and all the stuff. I've gotten used to it. So it turns out I have, what do you call it? A grandnephew? I don't know. Nephew that's the son of my cousin or something. He's gay and he's posting Democratic stuff.
Oh my God.
And I messaged him. I said, you and I are the only Stricklands. Shh. Don't speak too loudly. We have to keep together. We're the only progressive Stricklands in the world.
Well, you know, they announced Kamala Harris as the running mate, right?
Kamala. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kamala, tomato.
Kamala. Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about her because I think I've heard that when she was, I think like Attorney General or something in California, she was not good to the people who were incarcerated. She was
she was a prosecutor. That was kind of her job, was to be an asshole.
But you don't have to be a dick about it.
But
it was kind of tough on people who were trans. That's really a big problem. So you'd have a trans woman, and she would go ahead and put them into the men's facility.
And that's not good. I'm not a fan of that. That's not okay.
That wasn't where I was going with all that. Where I was going with all that is I know Biden has a good sense of humor. I've seen his sense of humor. He's a very funny person. And I just kind of think that he's missed an opportunity here.
Yeah.
He could have yesterday he could have said, and I'm going to announce my running mate as Barack Obama. And the tweets that would have come from that would have been golden. Golden. Like there would have been comedy shows for years about that. I mean, even just as a joke, that would have been so good. But
and other people floated that. People have said that would be, yeah, they've said that as a joke, and it's like, no, we know that would be ridiculous. But talking about Kamala Harris,
would it be? I'm sorry, I can't help thinking about it. It was just the U.S. is so divided, and everything is so divisive and so political and so charged.
I know. Go ahead.
I'm not really a political person, but it's.
But you're a person.
Yeah, and I almost feel like I'm getting old because I remember the old people in my life going, that tricky dick, that son of a bitch.
Well, he was a tricky dick.
Yeah. She wasn't talking about the president. Whoa, grandma.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that tricky.
I stand by my statement.
My point is, though, everything's so charged now, and I almost wonder if it's not because I'm old. I feel like politics, or is it really like this now?
Oh no,
I don't
it's
know.
crazy now.
I think, to be honest, I'll tell you that I think social media has really added to this whole thing of charging not just politics, but just about everything.
Everything,
the toxic fandoms, for example.
Yeah, social media is the billows. I mean, they're just pumping air into this fire. All these little fires. They turn these little matchsticks into freaking bonfires.
Big flame wars.
Yeah,
fortunately, though, we can take refuge from our from the politics in the apolitical world of comic books and sci-fi, where no politics
but
is
it's not really apolitical.
Yeah.
And one thing.
No.
Hello,
being
Watchmen.
sarcastic on that. I'll be right back. I need to get a beer.
Okay.
Oh yes, everybody needs to get a beer. I love that shirt, by the way.
Thanks.
And
Sorry,
Artem, you had mentioned earlier that maybe Darren or somebody had the same shirt as you. You know,
I think he did. Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to ask him. Maybe sometime I'll ask him on Facebook.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, but seriously, I took part in a panel, not 19 but 18, 2018 at DragonCon about the the fandoms. What we see is what we get, but it's just gotten so sad. People go saying, we want a second season of Constantine. Every time they put on a clip, they say, we want a second season of Constantine. It's like,
he's on Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a done deal. Yeah, once they move on, I know they pushed and put the person who we will not name pushed for Dark Matter to go back on air, and it's like they're already gone.
Yeah,
it's done. It's a done deal.
Melissa Neal is on one of those other shows that I don't watch. It's a more straight cop type show that I don't watch. What is she on? What is Melissa Neal on?
Once the cast and the crew get cut and get cut loose from their contractual obligations,
they're gone.
Very nearly impossible to put it back together.
Yeah, it's like the 2011 Thundercats cartoon. Oh, I mean, it's like it ended in 2012. 8 years later, there are people who still say we want a second season.
Yeah.
They don't understand. I have watched so many shows in my 45 years of life. I pretty much got the business down pat. If they don't get the rings, they don't sell the toys, it's done.
I'm sorry, we can't get a second season of nothing until we get a second season of Serenity.
Yeah.
Damn.
You know what? I'm done with Joss Whedon.
Fair point.
He turned out to be a crap person. For years, for freaking 25 years, I thought he was like a paragon of femininity.
Hold on a second. I'm hearing an echo.
I kind of get an
Co.
Okay.
All right. Do we still have the echo?
No.
Okay.
No.
Shut up, Sai. I hear you. I know what you're doing. You're messing with me.
I see you.
I see you. I know what you're doing. You can't hide behind that mask. But
Pull the mask up a little higher.
With Joss Whedon, we're way past it because I know who he is. I see him. It's come out. He lied to his freaking wife for 15 years. And you can tell me, you can say, oh, well, marriage is between him and his wife, and we really shouldn't get involved. She was pissed. He lied to her for 15 years. And if you are a feminist, you don't lie to a woman for 15 years. That's it. That's where I stand. Done. You are done, Joss Whedon. You are done.
You and me are in different courts because
Go for it.
where do you separate the art from the artist? There's a lot of horrendous artists out there, but they have a lot of good things to say through their art.
But you know what, Si? I was thinking about this the last few days. I was thinking about our friend Jason. I don't think y'all know him because he's
You said the name that cannot be named.
He is extreme right. I mean, there's like my family who was conservative, and then there's him who I think he might like do something one day. I'm a little bit worried. But anyways, so the person we know, where was I going with this? Hold on. I was talking about Joss Whedon.
You're live on Facebook. He's probably watching. Hi, Jason.
Okay. So I was talking about Joss Whedon. And, I was thinking about this, like the last few days I've been thinking about this. All right, cancel culture. I know he hates cancel culture. He hates it. But that is free market. Because I vote with my dollar.
There you go.
I don't have any power. I have no political power because even if I vote for somebody, somebody's going to come in and swoop it away from me, and I have no power. So I vote with my dollar. I vote with my eyeballs. I vote with what I give attention to. So if I decide that someone is pissing me off and I don't like what they stand for, I'm not going to support them. I'm not going to watch them. I'm not going to share them. I'm not going to do anything. And that, my friends, is capitalism.
And that's exactly how Lola got cut out of William Shatner's life.
Yeah, no,
sorry.
And that's actually kind of to the point that I was making earlier on one of your posts, is that we have heroes that are problematic.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Joss Whedon, we have like Sherman mentioned, H.P. Lovecraft. I mean, he was a racist a-hole, like for forever.
Scott
but his
Card.
stories are fantastic, and we have these amazing fan fiction things out there because of it. So like we can definitely J.K. Rowling's right now and Shatner and all that, like all of that is, how do we separate the artist from the art,
the work from the
and it's a difficult thing. It really is.
I honestly believe that once you put something out into the world, it's no longer yours. And this is kind of the way I come at it. So like something like Ender's Game, right? When Orson Scott Card wrote that, he put it out into the world and it became its own thing. Yeah. And then he was forever separated from it, other than, just being attributed to its creation. From the moment he birthed it, it had its own life. And that's kind of the way I look at it. I look at like, I can like your son, but not like you. I reserve the right to like this and not like that. And I understand what Lola's saying though about voting with her dollar, because every time I buy a novel by somebody that that's just a jerk, I'm giving them money. But I don't know. It's a double-edged sword, I guess. It's a tough one. Woody Allen. Oh my God, another one. Woody Allen.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, that one is
really he's
rough.
I mean, if you believe what's been said, he's a child rapist. And I've never really cared for his movies too much. I mean, I like Mia Farrow, so I'll watch her movies. I like Rosemary's Baby. I'll watch her movies. But I've never really cared too much for his movies, so it's no skin off my back. But I've heard enough from his own children, and I'm like, I think he's got a problem. And he married his stepdaughter. You know what?
Yeah,
hey,
that was,
right there. He married his stepdaughter. That's wrong. That's just not right. In any universe, I don't care who you are, that's not right. You don't marry your stepdaughter. There's something going on. There's something wrong.
I'll give you another perfect example. Mm-hmm. I grew up, I loved watching Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids.
I did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, look what's happened to Bill Cosby today.
Yeah, and in the Cosby Show, I mean, he was America's dad. Isn't that scary? That was America's dad.
And I loved him, but I believed it. One thing I've had to learn, and I'm 48 years old, and I'm starting to learn it. The people on the screen are not the same as the people in real life.
No, they're not.
I'm starting to learn that.
Except for Sean.
Sean's always Sean. Sean's awesome. I love Sean.
Oh, I remember one year I did a photo op with Stephen Collins. You know, Tales of the
He's
Golden Monkey,
turned out
Seventh
to be
Kevin.
a child rapist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That news kind of broke like less than 2 weeks after I had the photo op. I said, I am not going to tear up the picture, but I may never see him in the same light again.
Yeah, the world's funny like that. I can remember my first real big civilian job that I had. I got paid a bonus. Like I signed on. I worked there for a couple of months, and I knew somebody from college that was perfect for a position, and I was like, hey, you need to interview this. You got to interview this guy. You got to get this guy in here. And they interviewed him. They liked him. They hired him, and they gave me a bonus. And I was like, yeah, I finally made it. I'm in a job where I make bonuses and shit like that. And I went out to, it was J.C. Penney. I went out to J.C. Penney.
They're bankrupt now.
Yeah. And I bought this beautiful kind of like, it looked like something out of the Matrix, except it was kind of like suede. It was like a big, long black trench coat, big flowy bottom. It had it was like, Inspector Gadget quality kind of shit here. I was like, yeah, I got me and this is back when I lived in Illinois. I got me a trench coat. I'm going to wear this every day. I had that trench coat for almost exactly a week, and then Columbine happened.
Oh.
That is a sticking point with me because I was a wannabe goth. All right, my blacks didn't match. I wasn't wannabe goth.
Yeah, no, you can't get them to match. They just won't.
I had some black clothes that were like gray, and some
there's
were
the blue blacks, the red blacks, the gray blacks, the black blacks. Yeah, none of the blacks match.
So I was not a very goth, but I tried my hardest. I swear to God, I tried my hardest. I was the best wannabe goth they had. And so that shit with Columbine really upset me because I'm like, look, we're good kids. We're just a little bit different from everybody else, and we want to go to art school. Full disclosure, I applied to Savannah College of Art and Design. They didn't accept me because I have no artistic talent. That's okay. I had no artistic talent, but I tried. Mm-hmm. So we just all want to be art kids. That's all. That's all we want. We want to be just cool, and that's all. We're not. Most of us aren't wanting to hurt people. Those two assholes in Colorado are shits.
But the point is things change. Things change rapidly, and I've that thing has seen literally like a week of wear in its entire freaking life. I would try to break it out, but I live in San Diego. For God's sakes, you know how wicked weird I'm gonna look walking down the street in a black freaking trench coat in San Diego?
You know what? I felt so bad. Okay, so I used to live in Fernandina Beach, Florida, which is a small barrier island. We were talking about barrier islands, and there was one goth kid.
Oh no!
One goth kid.
I swear to God, that's like a South Park episode right there waiting to happen. A single goth kid in the entire town.
Goth kid. I felt so sorry for him. I was out of my goth phase, so I would wear like light colored clothes and stuff. But he was hardcore. He had the black Doc Marten boots, the black pants, the silver chain with the, his wallet hanging off his chain, and the black heavy thing, and the makeup, and then the black hair dye. He had it all. And I would just ride by, and I would like resist the urge to go, solidarity. But, I felt so bad for him. I'm like, oh, you poor kid. You got to get out of here. So, yeah, I understand being a goth in Florida. It's really.
I actually grew up in a small town, and I got to tell you, everybody that was a little tweaked and weird like I was, they all left. The only ones still there are the football jocks and the basketball jocks and the cheerleaders, and they're all still there. The captain of our football team, last I heard, was mowing the lawn at the cemetery. That's his full-time job.
That's gotta do it.
Yeah, but you know, everybody that I'm like we're scientists, architects. One guy works for the IRS, power plant supervisors. I mean, all the geeky stupid kids, we all went away and did shit with our lives, and then all these other people that were the cool kids, they got their 4 years in high school, and then the rest of their life has just been downhill. So
The whole Al Bundy thing.
yeah. Oh wow, nailed it. Nailed it. Good reference.
Yeah, it was the best of times.
Shoe salesmen.
Yeah. High school was the best of times.
And Artem, am I saying that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your shirt reminded me of something. So earlier I brought up Julie Noski, I believe that's her name, and the talking to your past self. And I was thinking, I really want to do that. Like I want to put together a video talking to my past self, but how would I actually do that? Because, you know, she films it. It's her on one side of the table and her on the other side of the table in slightly different get-ups. And then I came across the idea of blink.
Huh?
Except instead of blink, it's don't even breathe. Like cover your mouth and don't even breathe.
Why would I do that?
It's the Doctor Who reference to Blink,
the
episode
breathe.
Blink.
I know, don't blink. I know.
So
you can only do that for so long. All right, everybody, don't blink.
But wouldn't it be cool to find a videotape from the past about the future, right? From the past
blinked.
knows
God
about.
Damn it. What are we doing?
Virusy, timey-wimey. I don't know. I was looking at the script earlier and I was like, yeah, maybe I could work this into something. I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Dig up a time capsule, but it's actually from the future.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh wow. There's a novel there, man. You write that down in a secret location. I'm 2 beers in. By the 3rd beer, I won't remember.
I'm 2 beers and 2 glasses of wine and
that's okay.
A day of work and getting blocked by William Shatner.
Lola's recording, so you can check it later.
You were shat upon.
I was shat upon. And I've always stuck up for him. You know, I knew he was an asshole. I knew from day one.
You didn't tell me what you said to get blocked by William Shatner. Did you just ask for an autograph? Because I'm guessing that's what it was.
All right, if you look at his Twitter, I don't know.
I don't want to look at anybody's Twitter. That sounds dirty.
But okay, so he's a total snowflake. Some people came at him and called him a white cis male, whatever. And yes, they were being rude. I don't know what happened, but anytime you call somebody a white cis male, blah, you're probably being rude. You're probably being an asshole. That's probably true. But he went off on a tirade, like a 2-day Twitter tirade about he didn't want to be called cis. He didn't like it. It was a derogatory term. He didn't want it.
I still don't even know what the word means, to be honest.
Well, it's
I'm that unclued. I'm unwoke.
No, that's okay. That's okay. It refers to people who are not transsexual. And people,
wow. Okay.
Yeah. People use it. People who are transsexual tend to use it to differentiate themselves from people who were born with the correct set of genitals.
Yeah, it's like saying somebody's neurotypical. That's the other one. Yeah.
Or saying someone's white, and that was part that was part of whatever slur he thought there was. He was a white male cis, so he didn't say anything about the white or the male. He went off on a tirade about the cis, the CIS. He went off on a 2-day tirade about that. And I was actually trying to help him. I like the dude. I grew up on Star Trek and TJ Hooker and all that stuff. I was trying to help the dude. And I was also trying to stick up for my friends. I have a few friends who are transgender, and I was trying to help them out too. and I just said, Mr. Shatner, and I said, Mr. Shatner, I've been a fan of you for a long time. My mother and I will watch T.J. Hooker, and we watch the Star Trek movies. And then, I discovered the Star Trek original series, and I like that. But this is a battle that you might want to think about is not worth fighting because of the people you were hurt. And that's what I said. And
Wow.
I got blocked by William Shatner, and I also went in a Twitter flame war with a bunch of people. And I think I may be doxxed. I don't know. They were all crazy and just blah.
Should I send more beer?
Of course.
Wait, there's free beer? What's going on?
Sai sent me a huge amount of beer. Sai is wonderful. I
It
love
wasn't a huge amount of beer. It was a reasonable amount of beer for a pandemic, for God's sakes. Come on.
I'm $20,000 in credit card debt.
And so what you're saying is I should have sent more.
Yeah. I ain't buying crap for myself. All of
Grizzly.
my money goes to my damn dogs. Where are you? Come on, dogs, earn your paycheck. Come on.
Don't give the dogs any beer. Trust me on that one. Don't do that. No,
I want them to become celebrities so that I can reap in that money. They need to become celebrities because all the money goes to them.
No cherry cider for the carpet pooper. No.
Speaking of instant celebrities, have you heard about this pair on YouTube? Twins, the new trend, I think is they're called.
They're two guys. They're twins.
Yep, 21-year-old twins. They reacted to "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins. It's gone viral like mad. It was on CNN. I saw it on the Today Show yesterday, and it's like, oh brother, these guys are just taking off.
Well, I watched them. I haven't watched "In the Air Tonight," but they did Jolene.
Yes, they did.
Which I love Dolly Parton. Southern born and raised, and I love Dolly Parton and her song Jolene. I love it. One of the reasons I love Jolene, and I almost commented on this, but I didn't. She never once hates the woman. She never once really blames the woman, which is unusual. Usually when you have a woman who is confronting the other woman who is stealing her man, usually the woman is like, I like you need to die, all this stuff. He's actually asking the woman, don't take my man. I know you're way much better than I am and you're beautiful. Please don't take my man. So one of the reasons I love this song, this is like a 50-year-old song. And one of the reasons I love it is because she doesn't take out the woman. She doesn't blame the woman. It's just an honest plea. Please don't take my man. Now, you could really dissect it and say, she shouldn't be with this man. This man sucks. And that's
you've put way more analysis into a country song than I ever would. Oh, my gosh.
I've been listening to this song for 30 years. I know this song. I am this song. This is Jolene by Dolly Parton.
Yeah,
and I know this song.
Have you ever heard the one where what did they do? They slowed it down.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They took the original recordings and they slowed it down to 25-50%, and it still sounds friggin' amazing.
Well, she's Dolly Parton.
I know, yeah.
She's great. And she has a coat of many colors because when she was growing up, she was very poor. And her coat, her grandmother, or her mother, I think it was her grandmother, made her coat out of all these different swatches of fabric because they couldn't afford a whole thing of fabric. So she has this coat of many colors, and she gets made fun of at school because it's just this patchwork of color because it's all these many different swatches. But she made a song because it's her coat of many colors, and that was her life, and she loved her grandmother. And that's what life could be like sometimes for people in the deep South. I mean, down in South.
What year was the coat of many colors thing?
The 60s. When all
okay, I'm gonna say right now, Norman Lear stole that. That was the Shibuti episode of Archie Bunker.
1, 2, 3, no.
Shibuti.
Dolly Parton did that.
No, I'm saying Norman Lear stole that concept there, the Shibuya episode from Archie Bunker.
We're gonna go down. Are you ready? You messed with Dolly Parton.
No, I didn't mess with Dolly Parton. Norman Lear did. I'm telling you, he stole that.
Norman Lear is like 100 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna fuck with Norman.
Archie Bunker was like in the 1970s, though.
I know. I was a kid and I watched that damn show. And my father.
Yeah, but it was a show in Britain before it was a show in Britain before it came to America.
That's right. Like it was a remake here.
Archie Bunker was a remake?
Yes, All in the Family was
the original Office
show in Britain. I don't remember
what?
show in England. Do you remember?
Oh, I'm such a bad geek. How do I not know this? Because I love Norman Lear.
Geek? You said
I'm a horrible geek.
Well,
you are a bad geek.
If you read the credits, you would see it.
Yeah.
Same thing with Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
Sanford and Son was also a remake.
Steptoe and Son.
All of our best shows came from England.
Now you're going to tell next thing you know, you're going to tell me Shameless is originally from England. For God's sakes.
Oh, shut up, son. You know it was.
Hey, Friends was?
No, Friends
The Office?
Here. But one of the shows I love from England, they always said it was a ripoff of Friends. It was called Couples. And it's 20 years old.
Coupling, yeah.
I love that Coupling. And I love
That's a good show.
But guess what? It's fucked up and I can't really talk about it anymore. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because one of the characters, Jeff, they made a big laughing point about how he would secretly film women while they were having sex. And it was funny back then. But now it's not funny.
Oh yeah, there were so many things that we saw growing up then that would never ever today.
I'm gonna
Saddles.
Go ahead. What? Blazing Saddles. Oh no, I don't know. I think Blazing Saddles still holds. I think that still holds because that is funny. Yeah, funny. It was funny then. It's still funny now.
Yes, we know the sheriff is near.
Yeah, let's see. I can give you a few examples. Let's see. The classic Thunderbirds episode, Terror in New York City, because they have the Empire State Building, of course, New York City, 2001, blah, blah, blah. And there's now, in 1985, my favorite cartoon, Mask, okay? My favorite episode ever, Assault on Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is stolen, okay? But here's where it gets interesting. Venom's headquarters in that episode just happened to be the World Trade Center towers.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
See, and I had a good, I was like, curses David Copperfield. Which, yeah, okay, no one will get that.
And see, another thing I know that would never fly today. Another thing that would never fly today. There was a Super Nation show called Joe 90, a 9-year-old secret agent who would carry a gun. It's like that'll never fly today.
I got two that'll blow them right out of the water.
Okay.
So one of like the first real good sci-fi books I ever sunk my teeth into was Harlan Ellison's A Boy and His Dog. Has anybody read that?
Oh yeah, with Don Johnson.
I saw the movie.
There's a movie. Yeah, I just discovered the movie's out on Prime, and I watched the movie and I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. Oh, this is so not PC now. It's very, very rapey. Very rapey.
Horrible.
And then, and it's still one of my all-time favorites, but boy, there is so many problems with this movie now. Clockwork Orange.
Yep.
And I haven't seen that in 25 years, so I can't remember. I remember Malcolm McDowell with his eyes open.
Yeah, a very young Malcolm McDowell. Yeah, I love that movie to this day. I love that movie, but wow, there are some plot points in there that are just like that. You could not get that funded now. There's no way. No freaking way.
Yeah, and then there's this. There was this kids TV show on Nickelodeon. I remember watching it for so long. You can't do that on
Yes,
television.
I loved that. It was filmed in Canada, and I loved Alanis Morissette was on it.
Yes, she was.
And I loved, there's another girl, Christina. I can't remember.
Christine McGlade. Christine McGlade.
I loved her. I related to her because she had curly dark hair and fair skin, and I related to her. I loved that damn show. And they had the green slime and everything.
Yeah, the green slime in the water. Hey, that's where Nickelodeon got its idea for the green slime bit anyway.
That's where it came from. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we like that?
Yes, the problem is that show would never fly today either. More than likely.
I see. It's been so long since I've watched it. I don't remember why.
Oh, I still remember because I remember I would tape so many episodes.
I loved that damn show. I loved it. That was my thing. I would watch that. I loved it so much. And it's
interesting. There's that other show that's, I don't know if that's one's still on, Degrassi, I think it's called Degrassi High or something.
I never watched that, but I've heard about it because
Yeah, so many. They have an advertisement for it on Pluto, and it's like, wait a minute, isn't that Drake, the rapper?
Yeah.
Let's see, I think both Steven and Robbie and Mel been on it.
It's a Canadian show, so
yeah,
all the Canadians were on it.
Mm-hmm.
Canadians.
Canadians. Yeah, the Canadians.
Yeah,
Canadians. That's right.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, there were so many. There were so many actors on that one. So
I love, Alanis Morissette was on You Can't Do That on Television.
That's true.
Yeah, and it's funny because I remember when she came out with her "You Ought to Know" and all that stuff, and like
the Jagged Little Pill album. Yeah,
it's like Pill album.
Yeah.
It's like, huh? That's Alanis Morissette from You Can't Do That on Television?
And I had to go back and look at old clips. And I was like, well, damn, that is her. She grew her hair out. And You Can't Do That on Television. She had shorter hair.
Right.
Right. But then I looked at it. I was like, well, damn, that is her. And now she's got kids of her own. She's happily married. And she's doing way much better in life than I am. And I'm like, well, how did that turn around? Like, what's 360 degrees and then like another 360 degrees?
720.
720. You're good at math.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
She had a tour that got canceled this year.
Everything got canceled.
Her and Liz Phair.
Yeah, I love Liz Phair. I remember when Liz Phair, when her the Big Time album, I don't know if it was her debut, but the Big Time album came out with like 6 foot, and she was awesome. I love her. That was all in the like early 2000s, and I remember that. I loved it. Loved it all. But everything got canceled this year. Everything's canceled.